watching the news on African Free Press Television. My name is Bridget Okudili with the news updates. Days of protest calling for the release of Director of Radio Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, turned tragic yesterday in Onitsha as many people were reported killed. In Kiruka, Antonia Ihanyanwu, 21, a student of Federal College of Education, Umunze, Anambra State, was said to be among the dead. She was killed during the Biafra protest. Family sources allege Nkiruka was killed by security forces. Also, Onitsha-bound passengers, including civil and public servants, were stranded yesterday in Awka and neighboring towns as commuter buses and vehicles could not access the commercial city. This followed the blockade of all junctions close to Onitsha by the indigenous people of Biafra protesting Kanu's detention in Abuja. Meanwhile, the protesters, who also set bonfires with a warning on the road that today's protest would be worse, blocked junctions like Nkpo, Tazan, Nkwele, Old Road, Owerri Road, among others. Traders in Onitsha main market were seen trekking home as there was no vehicle to convey them due to the fear of vandalization of their vehicles by the protesters, causing serious hardship and stress to the traders. New leader of the movement for the actualization of the sovereign state of Biafra, Uche Namado, said the joint protest would continue until Kanu is released. Inspector General of Police Solomon Arase yesterday warned members of movement for the actualization of sovereign state of Biafra and indigenous people of Biafra not to provoke the will of the police and other security agencies with continuous threats to the public peace. In a statement issued in Abuja, the IGP said the blockade of the Onitsha end of Niger Bridge on Tuesday by the group, which resulted in hardship on motorists, business activities and other law-abiding citizens of the country, would no longer be tolerated by the police. Arasa said the warning became necessary following alleged increasing acts of brigandage by the MASOB and IPOD, which threatens national security and public peace in the southeast and contaminated states. The IGP said the police would no longer fold its law enforcement arms to allow few misguided elements continually force hardship on fellow Nigerians in any part of the country, warning that anyone caught would face the full wrath of the law. 82 workers of Osun State College of Education, Ila Oregon, were yesterday sacked by the management of the state-owned institution. The development was in line with the government's policy to restructure tertiary institutions in the state. It was also gathered that the affected workers were members of the known Academic Staff Union of the college. Chairman of the Academic Staff Union of the college, Shegun Onafade, confirmed the development of newsmen in Osogbo yesterday. According to him, the sacked workers were contract staff. Onifade also disclosed that some of the sacked workers had spent 6 years before the authorities decided to relieve them of their jobs. Chairman of the College Governing Council, Niya Konde, when contacted on phone, however, said he was not aware of the sack. The former Nigerian Minister for Petroleum, Mrs. Denziani Alison Madueke, has reiterated that she was fully committed to a course of empowering indigenous oil and gas companies in Nigeria while she was in office. She made this known in an interview with the CEO of Ovation magazine in London, Mr. Dele Momodu. She noted that as the chairman of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, she did her job to the best of her ability and intention. She pointed out that former President Goodluck Jonathan and herself were determined to empower Nigerians, especially the young ones. The former Nigerian Finance Minister, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has threatened to sue the Edo State Governor, Mr. Adams Oshiomhole, for linking her with the ongoing $2.1 billion arm deal purchase scandal. In a statement issued by her media advisor, Paul Nwabuikwe, she said the governor is against her because she stopped him from taking a suspicious 15 billion naira loan while she was the finance minister. She described it as an abuse of public office, the judicial process, and her fundamental human rights for Oshiomhole, whom she stopped from taking a highly suspicious 15 billion naira loan to make false allegations against her while hiding behind the constitutional immunity granted state governors. According to her, as recently confirmed by the Debt Management Office, professional analysis showed that Oshomole's loan request, which was based on using low-interest World Bank loan to offset high-interest commercial loan, would have left Edo State with a heavy debt burden, and the state would have found it very difficult to pay back. Mr. Nwabikwe described the governor's unsubstantiated allegations as a cynical personalization of the anti-corruption campaign to achieve ignoble objectives. The founder of Dar Communication, Chief Raymond Dokpesi, has opened up the 2.1 billion naira he collected from the Office of the National Security Advisor was payment for media and political campaigns for the 2015 general election. Dokpesi, in a statement by his company on Wednesday, explained he was invited by the EFCC chairman Ibrahim Magu to shed more light on some payments that were made to him through the office of the erstwhile NSC. On the foreign scene, Cameroon's defense minister has announced his troops has freed 900 hostages captured by the Nigerian Islamist militant group Boko Haram. Joseph Betty Asomo said his forces had also killed around 100 Boko Haram members at the end of November. There has been no independent confirmation of the operation in Cameroon's remote Far North region. It is not clear exactly where the clashes took place or where Boko Haram's captives have been held. UK's Ministry of Defense has confirmed RAF Tornado jets have carried out their first airstrikes against so-called Islamic State in Syria. 4 tornadoes took off from RAF Akrotiri in Cyprus shortly after members of parliament voted to approve bombing. Defense Secretary Michael Fallon said the strikes targeted the Omar oil fields in eastern Syria, which is under ISIS control, and were successful. He said he had personally approved the targets ahead of the Commons vote. On Wednesday, MPs voted by 397 votes to 223 for UK action against ISIS, also known as Daesh. In Syria, about a 10-hour Commons debate, Mr. Fallon said the Ministry of Defense would be assessing the damage done by the bombing later, but the aim was to strike a very real blow on the oil and revenue on which Daesh depends. In sports, the Dream Team 6 tutored by coach Samson Siasia have their hope of being in Rio 2016 football event now hanging in balance as they played out a 2-2 draw against Egypt in their second Group B game Wednesday night. The young Pharaohs, though with 2 points from 2 games, are still in contention with a game in hand against Mali on Saturday. Thoughts have delayed Nigerians' berth in the semi-finals. This Siasia's boys started the game on a good note, winning 2 penalties in quick succession to go 2-0 up in the first half, with Ogene Karo Etebo converting both effectively. But on the start of the second half, the Egyptians came out smoking, and substitute Karim plotted Egypt's remarkable fight back as within minutes of the restart, Egypt pulled the goal back through Ramadan Servit's header from inside the 6-yard box. For more stories, please log on to our website at www.africanfreepress.com, like our Facebook page at African Free Press, follow us on Twitter at African Free Press, and don't forget to join in our forum at African Free Press Forum. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at African Free Press. My name is Bridget Okudili. Do have a good day.